The woman calculated the time when her husband and best friend were meeting. She went home early and deliberately made noise. When the husband noticed, he immediately pushed his best friend away and told her to hide outside the window. The best friend was so scared, her soul almost flew away. After all, this was the 13th floor. But at this moment, the husband didn't care about any of that. Little did they know, the noise they made was heard clearly by the woman outside the door, but she didn't rush in. Instead, she thoughtfully counted down from 3 and then pushed the door open. The husband turned pale with fear when he saw this. He could only force himself to act as if nothing had happened. The wife stared at the scumbag putting on an act, but she didn't expose him right away. She just deliberately scolded her husband for leaving the window open on a rainy day. Then she pretended to walk over to close the window and secretly scattered a handful of nails on the floor. The guilty husband rushed forward to stop her and stepped right on the nails. Even though the pain was unbearable, the husband still gritted his teeth and rushed ahead of the woman, closing and locking the window shut. Only then did he let out a sigh of relief. Then the woman brought a medical kit to clean his wound, but she deliberately made her hands tremble nervously until the husband was sweating in pain. The woman finally, reluctantly, pulled the nail out. The man thought he had finally covered up the matter. Little did he know, the woman's revenge had just begun. It turned out the woman was someone reborn. In her past life, she was deceived by her husband and best friend together until she was kidnapped by them. Only then did she realize that her husband and best friend had betrayed her together. Even so, she was still unwilling to accept it. For all those years, she had treated her husband as her childhood companion. Not only did she bow and scrape in his family's home, she even handed over her family's 100 billion fortune to him. She thought she was just blind and foolish to love the wrong person, but before her death, her husband told her that he was never the person she was looking for, and marrying her was only to get her wealth. Hearing this, the woman finally realized she had chosen the wrong person, but by then, everything was too late. The vicious best friend, to eliminate future troubles, kicked over gasoline on the ground and set a fire before leaving. Before dying, the woman swore that if she could live again, she would make the two of them wish they were dead. Unexpectedly, the next second, the woman truly returned 3 years earlier. At this time, her mother-in-law was nagging at her to be sure to invite all the noble families to attend the charity auction hosted by the Smith family. In her past life, the Smith family had used this auction to secure massive investments and successfully enter high society. The woman originally wanted to refuse directly, but seeing the two culprits who killed her standing before her, she came up with an interesting revenge plan. She decided to use the charity auction to ruin her husband and best friend completely. But the woman wanted to take some interest from her best friend first. She knew her best friend coveted everything she had, so she deliberately flaunted the jade bracelet her mother-in-law gave her. When she saw the greedy look in her best friend's eyes, she immediately realized the big fish had bitten the hook. She instantly took off the bracelet